Welcome everybody to today's City Council meeting. Today, Monday, August 11th, 2025. I now call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
District 1, Councilmember Casey.
Here.
District 2, Councilmember Vieira.
Here.
District 3, Councilmember Otero.
Here.
District 4, Vice Mayor Martinez.
Present.
Mayor Lopez.
Here. Please stand for the invocation by Ken Silva, from the Youth of Christ. Pastor Dick Connors will be here. Is he in person? Oh, there he is. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Let's pray together. Our Heavenly Father, we always want to come before you thoughtfully and thankfully. You are the God who has made us. You are the God who sustains our lives. You are the God from whom all blessings flow. I ask in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ that you bless our meeting tonight, that you would bless our community with wellness, safety, and peace. May the men and women of this council be blessed by you. May they remember that nothing is hidden from your sight, so may they exercise their duty to the city of Ceres with integrity, uprightness, with the desire to serve well their fellow citizens. Please bless our police and sheriff's departments. May they excel in serving and protecting, and may they know your protection from your almighty hand. Thank you for our men and women who serve us in fire and rescue. May you watch over them as they serve us in times of distress and danger. Grant us that we may remember you and your divine law in all we do. Amen.
Amen. Do we have Peyton from Summit Charter here? If not, then we will go ahead and proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. There are no presentations today. We'll begin with citizens' communications. While the City Council welcomes and encourages participation in City Council meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes. Resolution 2007-106 for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the City Council and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the City Council from taking any action on any matter which is not posted on the agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the City Council. Citizens are entitled to address the City Council on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Anyone wishing to address City Council must adhere to the rules of decorum. The rules of decorum are posted outside the chamber doors. And we will begin with any of our local representatives. And with that, we will now open in-person comments.
Good evening, council members. John Warren, City of Ceres. Today is August the 11th, and that really doesn't have a lot of significance. But next month, September 11th, does have a lot of significance. And with such a nice group of folks here tonight, I would like to offer an invitation for all of those citizens, council members, representatives of our country and our state and our city to attend the services over here at Whitmore Park at the Veterans Flagpole, where the World War Monument is, where we will honor the people that passed during the attack on September 11th. The American Legion, Post 491 here in Ceres, and the VFW Post 10293 here in Ceres will host that event. It doesn't take very long, but it is somber, and I invite everyone to attend. Thank you very much.
Mr. Warren?
Thank you.
Mr. Warren, what time on 9/11, sir, will the event take place at the War Memorial? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So just for the record, that'll be at 8 a.m.
That's correct. Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Brandy Meyer, Series Chamber of Commerce. I just wanted to remind everybody that we have our golf tournament on September 26th, and we moved our One Table One community from September. We're now going to do it on October 10th. So it'll be a Friday night instead of a Saturday, and we hope to see everybody there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands raised on Zoom. Actually, we do have a hand raised on Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kimberly, you can go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Great. So my name is Kimberly Oliveira, and I'm a resident of Ceres, and I wanted to speak at the city's council meeting because I've attended the last several meetings, and what I haven't heard is any mention of interns for the city. And I think it is a real opportunity for the city to engage its youth. The last several city council meetings have been focused on a lot of things, but one topic that has come up quite a lot is civic engagement with students. A previous resident recommended that we try to utilize students to revitalize the Veterans Memorial in the park, and there's been other mention. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up as a topic to today's meeting, to understand whether or not the city has an existing internship program to leverage the variety of schools that are in the city and so close nearby from like Stanislaus. And if there isn't even a program, what would it take to stand one up? Because like I said, I think it's a real opportunity for the city to engage its youth and to really build a foundation of strong civic engagement that the city can only benefit from in years to come. And if that's something that we need, citizens to get involved with, that's something that I'm very passionate about and I'm eager to get involved with. I just don't even know where to try to engage with that. So that was kind of my spiel. Hopefully that's something that we can work on together as a community moving forward.
Thank you, Kimberly. We'll take that into consideration. Unless there's not any more hands raised, we have emails.
We do have one email was received from David Yonan. It states the city's code enforcement team continues to do a wonderful job in dealing with our homeless issue. However, the team needs help when it comes to enforcement to make their jobs more efficient, specifically in hot areas, Hatch Road east of Mitchell, where there are constant groups on both the north and south sides of Hatch daily. The code enforcement team can move them along only to have them back within the hour. This is not very productive. My question to the council, can a no loitering ordinance be passed in the name of public safety and enforced whereby the homeless camped out on the sidewalk can be cited/ticketed? This is just one idea and not necessarily the perfect fix. It would get them off the public sidewalk and allow youth walking to the soccer fields to be able to use the sidewalk again without stepping over people and their stuff. We know there needs to be a long-term solution like Modesto Gospel Mission or the Salvation Army. Both are not that far away. Does the city have contacts at these facilities to work with them to get the homeless enrolled? Ceres citizen, feel free to reach out with thoughts and or comments. David Yonan.
Okay, thank you very much. There is nothing else, and we will move on. Citizens communication is now closed. Is there any conflict of interest from the council? Seeing none. Moving on to appointments, boards, and commissions. Today, we have an item on council designation of the voting delegates and alternate delegate to represent the city of Ceres at League of California Cities in 2025 annual conference. City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a routine item that comes before you once per year regarding the League of California Cities annual conference and designating a delegate and alternate for the General Assembly meeting, which is where the membership considers and takes action on resolutions that establishes league policy. To vote at the General Assembly meeting, the City Council must designate a primary voting delegate and may also designate 2 alternate voting delegates. The delegate must be registered to attend the conference and must be present at the General Assembly meeting and in possession of the voting card to cast their vote. This year, we have Vice Mayor Martinez that is attending, and I believe Councilmember Casey. So with that said, I'll turn it over to the council to determine who they'd like to designate. And just to keep in mind, this conference is October 8th through 10th.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the audience. Does the audience have any comments or questions about this item? Seeing none, bringing back this item to the council. Any comments or questions on this item? Looking for, we need a motion, correct? Or more of consensus?
Consensus will be fine.
Casey, would you like to say something, sir?
Sure. I think Vice Mayor Daniel A. Martinez should be the primary delegate.
Was that, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Fallon. Was that a consensus or does?
Consensus.
Okay, Daniel, are you okay with that? Okay. Mr. Casey, will you also be attending?
My plan is to be there, yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. There is a request for an alternate, correct?
Yes, I don't think it's mandatory, but if
Okay.
you would like to list him, just make that part of the consensus.
You okay with that, Mr. Casey, to be the alternate? Okay, there you go. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, yeah, I think we're all
Okay, me.
okay with this. Thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on to the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered a routine in nature and will be acted by a single motion unless otherwise requested by an individual council member or public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendation of staff will be acted upon by a roll call vote. Is there anyone on the council that would like an item pulled? Councilmember Vieira,
Number 10, please.
item number 10. Any other council members? Seeing none, members of the audience, was there, I'm sorry, Mr. Casey.
11 and 12.
Those are unfinished business. Okay. Any members of the audience would like to pull an item? Seeing none. Anybody online?
There are no hands raised online.
Back to the council for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept items 1 through 9 of the consent calendar.
A second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Councilmember Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess with number 10, when you read the resolution, it just says improving a budget amendment. So I just kind of had a question about where that money is coming from since we just went over it. And just also confirming that because this is using city funds, that it is required to be prevailing wage, because I know there was some concerns and conversations about that in the past.
Sorry about that, Ms. Vieira. We were having a side conversation about the buttons. Thank you. Mr.
Thank you
Belcher.
for your question, council member. So this money is in account 297, which is the Recreation Facilities Fund. And that money is available. We didn't know if it was going to be available just with the park project that we had going on between the playground, the murals, and the overall Smyrna Park project. But this money is available in that fund. And as far as prevailing wage goes, yes, this is all prevailing wage. It is mandatory by the state that any field work is done that has a classification under prevailing wage.
I think that is it. I did want to say I was happy to see it was a local company from Ceres that was on the form, so I was glad to see that. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Councilmember Serena.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a comment. I just want to thank city staff who've worked hard on this and made this project one of their priorities recently.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to see if anyone from city staff had reached out to CYB, and I know that this is going to cover all the lights. It's going to be a big improvement for them. Visibility has been an issue before. This is also going to be putting light poles in on the T-ball field that currently has none at the moment, correct, sir? Which is, I guess, field 4. Okay, that was it. Thank you, sir.
One correction on that, council member. So it's only the fields that currently have lights. There are 4 fields that have lights. Those are the 4 fields that will get lighting replacements. No other lights will be added as this is an energy savings project through TID.
Okay. Have we, at the staff level, contacted CYB, let their executive board know they're aware of that as well? And they're fine, because normally they attend meetings with their on. I don't see anybody representing them. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank
Okay. Members of the public, any comments or questions? None on Zoom. Okay, item back for council for motion.
Make a motion to approve item number 10 of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
A roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you very much. Moving on to item number 11, resolution number 2025, ordering the levy and collections of special taxes for fiscal year 2025-26 within the City of Ceres Community Facilities District number 1. And this goes to Beltrans.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. So this first one, which is for CFD number 1, this you're going to kind of hear the same explanation on both CFD 1 and CFD 2. So sorry for the repeat. But CFDs essentially they cover a certain percentage of police, fire, ambulance, park maintenance, park strips, parkways, those types of things in certain districts that are generally residential in nature. And this levy is actually put onto the property taxes. So what we're asking for, an approval of the resolution to levy and collect this tax on CFD number 1. The residents, when they do buy these houses, they do understand that this does become a portion of their tax bill. Again, the purpose of the district funds fire, police, ambulance, does park maintenance, parkways, and other open space maintenance. The rate is per parcel. So there's an annual adjustment this year based on the consumer price index of 2.9%. So what does that equate to? That equates to a rate increase of $10.25 per parcel for the year. So less than $1 a month. But it essentially is a rate increase from $353.43 to $363.68. So when we look at this, what is the budget impact? If right now we currently have $675,000 that's budgeted for CFD1, if you were to deny the resolution in whole, then that $675,000 would need to be covered through the general fund, or we would not be able to render services. So we're asking that, obviously that we get the increase. If you want to adopt without the increase, you can do that. You just need to make that as a part of your motion as an amendment to the resolution. Please note that everything in the CFDs is based on just the CPI. We can only raise it a max of 4%. On a year where inflation, the CPI is above, say it's 6 or 7%, we can only raise it by 4%. So over the years, generally speaking, we fall behind every single year. We never get ahead on these things. Whether those are contract services, right now, consultants and things are asking for 5% a year. So we don't keep up there. With wages, you generally don't keep up there. Most companies are giving, 5 to 10% increases, to their employees every year. So those equipment costs, all of those, you can see that they're going up quite substantially compared to the 2.9% that we're actually allowed to adjust this by. So we do fall behind every year. This was created, I believe, in 2002. So over the past 20 years, the amount that we've been able to raise, according to the CPI, has definitely not kept up with real wage growth, benefits, contract services, materials, all of those types of things. So for instance, during COVID, when it was 9%, 9% inflation, the max we could go up was 4%. So we want to make sure that we can continue to provide these services as we do, and any supplement does have to come from the general fund. So this helps us maintain that level of service. And so, like I said, as we move through this, we are asking for you to approve the resolution as is, which is with a 2.9%, but that is at the council's discretion, and I'm happy to take any of your questions.
Thank you very much. We'll go out to the audience. Is there any members of the audience that would like to make a comment? Seeing none, I'll bring this item back to the council for comments or discussion. Councilmember Otero.
I don't really have any questions. It's more of a comment. The biggest thing with the special tax levy is I just want to ensure that the residents are receiving the efficient services, and that we don't continue to lack in certain areas. And just, I know the cost and everything is going up for the vendors, the contractors, but I just want our residents to receive efficient services.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Casey.
Along the same lines, this Melrose tax, whatever it's called, it includes the $10 that you said average. It's not all for the maintenance of the property. Some of it goes to fire, some of it goes to other places. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. So police, fire, and then it also goes to maintenance of parks. It goes to maintenance of parkways, which are, park strips essentially that are publicly maintained.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you. Necessarily, kind of like with Otero, I don't necessarily like taxes, but I also understand we have a huge gap when it comes to what we're spending just on police and fire and maintaining our parks. And you guys kind of changed the staff report a little bit, which kind of threw me off a little bit because you put it under recommendations instead of fiscal impact, which is usually where I look when it comes to where it's going to impact us if we do or don't make a vote. But I think it's important that we still have the services and we have the staffing that we need to be viable. And our staff is still getting raises and they still have cost of benefits. And I haven't seen any of that come down, unfortunately, when it comes to city costs. And I think I'm with Otero where we just have to make sure that we're able to provide the services. And if this is one way of making sure that we have enough funding to maintain a proper police level and the proper fire and response systems, then this is something that we're going to have to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City Attorney, could we vote on these together since it's essentially the same thing? It's just changing the district.
We should take them separately. They're different amounts in different districts.
Yes, ma'am. So I just want to make sure I thanked you. 2 council meetings ago, this item was brought to us and you explained the fiscal impact if we didn't accept these pretty well. Want to make sure that we pass these forward. I, again, don't like the idea of taxing and increasing pay on our constituents, but we wouldn't be able to sustain that hit from our general fund of the 600,000 for this one and I think it's 500 from the other. So I do support this.
Thank you very much. Okay. So with that being said, what was that? Okay. Oh, yeah. Any motions on this item?
I'll make a motion to accept item number 11 of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
We get a roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 12, ordering the levy and collections of special taxes for fiscal year 2025 within the City of Ceres Community Facilities number 2. Bill Trans.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. This is essentially the same type of community facilities district. It's just the second one that we do have. It covers generally the same exact thing. As you'll see, this one is a little bit more expensive. So that 2.9% actually equates to a $30.39 increase per parcel, which that rate goes from $1,047.79 to $1,078.18. The budget impact is about $134,000. And again, I can go over any questions that you may have, but in that it's a same general explanation as CFD1.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll go to the audience. Any comments or questions for the audience? Seeing none. Going back to Councilmember Vieira. Is somebody, if you raised your hand, welcome to come up and speak on this item.
Hi, my name's Angela. I just had a question. Is this only for the 25-26 fiscal year, or is this going to continue?
So this is the increase for the 25-26 fiscal year, and then it continues on every year after that. And it raises by the consumer price index.
And the cap again was
4%.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional comments and or questions from the audience? I bring this item back for a motion.
Make a motion to approve item number 12 of the consent calendar.
You know what? I take that back. I am speeding the process way too fast. Councilmember Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just wondering, because I know, again, like I said, you kind of move things around a little bit in the staff report. Can you just review it looks like there's going to be a general fund or a reserve supplement if we don't approve this. It looks like instead of being, if I'm reading this wrong, it would be a supplement of, if we don't approve it, 492,000, or if we do approve it, it was 145,000. It looks like it's almost a $300,000 difference in what we take out of the general fund or reserves.
I think you're actually looking at item 13.
Thank you. So what's again, it's been, so this one just has an impact of about 135,000.
Yes, ma'am.
That would hit the reserves if we didn't approve this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions from the council? Looking for a motion.
Oh, I'm happy to second Daniel's motion.
Roll call.
Councilmember Casey,
Aye.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to public hearing, item number 13. Approving the fiscal year 2025-26 amended engineers report and ordering the levy of assessments for the 1987 landscape and lighting district for fiscal year 2025-26. Bill Tran.
Thank you, Mayor, council members, members of the public. I'm bringing this item forward tonight to present the annual resolution to levy and collect assessments for our landscape and lighting districts, also known as LLDs. To give some background, these are separate from our community facilities districts. The LLDs specifically fund landscape and lighting service across designated areas of the city. A map showing the locations of each district is included in the appendix of the engineer's report, along with details on the proposed annual adjustments. This year, the general increase is approximately 2.23% based on the West Urban Consumer Price Index. In dollars, this percentage increase equates to an increase ranging from as little as 21 cents per parcel to $8.15 per parcel. These assessments help pay for things like streetlights and landscape maintenance in the public rights of way. So what happens if we approve this increase? Once adopted, we'll file with the county clerk, and the county applies the updated assessment to the property tax rolls. For fiscal year 25-26, the total budget from the LLDs is approximately $637,000. Of that, about $492,000 comes directly from the assessments. The remaining $145,000 is currently being subsidized by the general fund. So why is there a shortfall? When a homeowner buys into one of these districts, the annual assessment is disclosed to them, similar in nature to a Mello-Roos tax. However, over time, costs such as contract landscape services and electricity rates often increase at a faster pace than the CPI cap allows us to raise the assessment. For example, while the utility costs may increase by 5 to 6% annually, our legal maximum adjustment this year is 2.23%. That gap compounds over time and the shortfall grows. Some districts now have annual deficits of $50,000 or more, which the general fund has to cover. We saw this trend accelerate during COVID when CPI adjustments were very low despite rising costs. So why not deny the increase? If the council were to deny the adjustment, the $492,000 currently funded by the assessments would have to be absorbed entirely into the general fund, increasing the general fund deficit and the shortfalls in the district. That would almost certainly also result in reduced level of service. So next steps, we should open the public hearing and council should take action on the resolution. Staff's recommendation is to move forward with the 2.23% increase, but we can also explore modifications if that is the desire of the council. With that, I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much. The public hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the chambers who would like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none, we have one hand raised. Kimberly?
Kimberly, you can unmute your mic.
Me? Hello?
We can hear you, Kimberly. Go ahead.
Great. So I just had a quick question, just a point of clarification. So these LLDs are paying for an engineering assessment that was already conducted. And if we don't increase the revenue from these LLDs, those assessments are being paid out of the general fund. Is that correct?
So if I understand your question correctly, the engineer's report is prepared, which goes through a calculation to assess how much the increase should be. In this case, 2.23%, which is from the West Urban Consumer Price Index. The funding that is collected by the assessments is then used for landscape and lighting districts, or landscape and lighting in the districts that are in the engineer's report.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Thank you, Kimberly. Is there anybody else online? Seeing none, I bring this item back. Was there any emails, by the way?
There were no emails received.
Okay, thank you. And I have Vice Mayor Martinez has pressed the button.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Beltran, can you confirm you said that it could be as little as 28 cents and a maximum of $8? Was that correct?
Generally speaking, that is the range through all of the districts, but the lowest one, the 2.9% increases to 21 cents per parcel. And the biggest one is essentially an increase of $8.15 per parcel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for putting in the extra work and for bringing this back to us.
Is there any additional comments from the council? Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 13 of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Mayor, could I request a 5-minute recess before we start the next item?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin the city council meeting. Please have a seat. Welcome back, everyone. Resolution denying the appeal of the Planning Commission's approval of conditional use permit, CUP, application number 2409 for a Maverick fueling station located at the southeast corner of Mitchell Road and Road in Ceres, California, APN 041-018-007. Councilmember Otero would like to make a comment before the report.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be recusing myself from item number 14. I was on the Planning Commission at the time of consideration and approval.
Thank you very much. And we will come out to get you once it is all done. City Manager, is this your item?
We'll be turning this over to Leah Simbalakis, our consultant.
Welcome back, Leah.
Just waiting for the presentation. Thank you, Mayor and council members. Nice to see you all and be back. Tonight, we're hearing the Maverick Fueling Station appeal. Just for a reminder, it was originally approved by Planning Commission on November 11th, 2024 on a 4-0-1 vote as one planning commissioner recused themselves. A timely appeal was filed. It took us a while to get here, but we are finally here this evening. And this is just going to be a quick recap of the project, just for your memory and the audience's memory. Maybe if it wants to. Oh, gotta turn it on. There you go. Project being appealed is CUP 2409. The project being appealed is a 5,951 square foot Maverick fueling station, convenience store with 14 vehicle fuel pumps and 6 truck fuel pumps. It's located on the south east corner of Mitchell Road and Road. This is a quick project aerial of the site. The zoning map the zoning designation is regional commercial. The general plan designation is regional commercial. Just a reminder that the staff report was the Planning Commission staff report was attached to the appeal staff report, and in it there were multiple general plan policies finding conformance for this project, 11 general plan policies and goals, multiple discussions of how this plan conforms to the Mitchell Road corridor and how this project conforms to the zoning district. Just a quick review of the surrounding land uses. To the north, you have some regional commercial and highway commercial. To the south, you have some vacant land and some commercial land. To the east, vacant and regional commercial designated land. And to the west, regional commercial, which is the Ceres Gateway Center. Here you'll see a site plan. Again, it has a convenience store with 14 small vehicle fuel pumps and 6 commercial truck diesel pumps, fueling station, truck scales, and EV charging stations. Just to reiterate the correction from the staff report that was discussed, there is no overnight parking. There are no showers. We worked with our engineering department to determine the location and direction of traffic for a proper ingress and egress on the site. The number of EV charge stations was added to the plan set after Planning Commission. I know that was a question that came up. We have a minimum requirement of 24 parking stalls, but there will be 36 parking stalls provided. There will also be RV dump stations, which in doing some research, I don't think there are any other Ceres locations, so that will serve be a nice amenity for the public. As discussed in the Planning Commission staff report, this is a really big economic generator for the city of Ceres. It's anticipated that construction material purchases within the region will exceed $500,000. The project will employ an equivalent of 15 full-time employees. The project is projected to generate $629,000 in sales and use tax from the fuel sales And we're hoping to see around 41,000 in sales and use tax from the convenience store sales in just the first year. So you recently passed the city's budget. You are all keenly aware of how important sales tax revenue is to bolster your budget each year. And the more economic development we have in the city, the less you have to pull from reserves. So this is a vital project to our city to keep our services going. I do want to touch on several points that were in the staff report, and it will highlight the importance of this area for a truck stop like this in the city of Ceres. You'll notice that the Mitchell Road corridor shows that this is a designated truck route. Mitchell Road runs from State Route 99 to the Modesto City County Airport and the Beers Industrial Track in Modesto. The Mitchell Road corridor currently does not offer any services for commercial truck fueling, despite being a significant truck route throughout really 3 cities in Stanislaus County. You have county areas, city of Ceres and city of Modesto that use this corridor for truck transportation. So economic development, not just for the city of Ceres, but essentially multiple cities and the state of California run through our truck route. The nearest truck fueling station that accommodates commercial trucks is either mile 17 in Ripon, 17 miles to the north in Ripon, or to the south in Livingston. There is truck fueling off the beaten path in Ceres, but nothing convenient for the amount of trucks that we see run through this Mitchell Road corridor. We just wanted to show that this is also a truck route noted in Stanislaus County. Service Road is actually a truck route as well. So you have the Service Road and Mitchell Road basically intersect. So 2 major truck corridors run right past this station, showing the need for services in this area, but also to highlight the fact that there's already existing traffic traveling this corridor. Again, this is the city of Modesto truck route, not to beat a dead horse, but you'll see Mitchell Road is a truck route all the way north through Modesto. And then again, this is an older copy of our Mobalytics report, which basically shows you the amount of people that are already traveling to this intersection, already using the street, already using this off-ramp to go to the Walmart Center. And why it's important to highlight all 3 of these plans is to really touch on something that relates to our environmental impact discussion. Under SB 743, the new measurement of vehicular miles, of VMT, vehicular miles traveled, the impact that's used to discuss impacts of a project for CEQA is no longer level of service, but VMT. And the Office of Planning and Research put out a technical advisory report in 2018 that says that gas stations are considered local serving retail because they do not generate new trips. They meet existing demand. We've discussed this is a truck route for 2 cities in the county. There is an existing demand. There are trucks already present on this road and they have nowhere to stop. So when considering whether or not we're producing new trips, OPR has conveniently already determined that we can consider this gas station to be a local serving trip generator. And in some cases, it reduces VMT because trucks now don't have to travel all the way to Ripon to fuel. They don't have to travel all the way to Livingston. It reduces vehicle miles traveled in some instances. And also the OPR's technical advisory notes that uses adjacent to the Highway 99, they consider those trucks to be trucks that are already on the roadway system and considered pass-by or diverted traffic and not new demand. So you're going to hear a lot of discussion tonight about there being new trips, new traffic. It's already been determined by OPR that this kind of use is a local serving retail use that serves existing and pass-by trips. It does not generate new trips. We as a city want to capture those trips so they aren't fueling up in other cities. We want to bring that tax revenue to the city of Ceres. Just for reference, the Municipal Code Section 18.30.140 of the Appeal Hearing Procedures, Section B, decision states that the City Council shall hear and decide on the subject of the appeal, giving full consideration to the specific findings of the office or commission, so that in this case, Planning Commission, which the appeal came from, and they may reverse, affirm, modify the action as it is appealed. You may also hear new evidence. You'll notice that there was a change in the environmental designation from Planning Commission to this evening. We are currently determining that the project is exempt from CEQA review via 15332 exemption and infill exemption. We'd also like to note that the project is not subject to any of the exceptions to the infill exemption set forth in CEQA sections 15300.2. Then ultimately tonight, we are asking that you deny the appeal of the Planning Commission's approval of CUP 24-09 with the additional finding that the project is not subject to the 15300.2 exceptions, and then approving the project. We have several applicant members here as well as the appellant team for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The public hearing is now open. Is there any members of the public that would like to make a comment? Now is the time. Please step up.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. My name is Diane Kinderman. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Abbott and Kinderman. We're based in Sacramento, and my client is Mr. Guy, the appellant. We appreciate the time to provide comments this evening and appreciate staff working with us in our questions and comments leading up to this hearing. Very briefly, I submitted a letter today. It came later than I like it to come because we needed to have an opportunity to review the new information that had been provided in the staff report. Very quickly, my letter talks about issues with the findings for the exemption, the categorical exemption that the city has identified. We were very specific as to what the issues were, why they were lacking in substantial evidence, which is what is required under the law to comply with CEQA. And even assuming arguendo that they did have substantial evidence due to the significant environmental impacts that remain as a result of this, or I should say in spite of the new traffic study, as a result of this project, there is an exception to that exemption that would prevent the exemption from applying and would require that an EIR here be prepared to address those significant impacts. After I speak, our traffic expert is going to underscore what those significant impacts are. I will mention after he speaks, the applicant, the appellant here for this appeal is Mr. Sonny Guy as indicated, and he will speak for a moment as well. I just wanted to mention staff's comments regarding VMT assumptions that you don't assume that there are there's no additional traffic as a result of a project. We are not talking about VMT impacts. We are talking about public safety and hazard impacts as a result of the additional traffic. They are conflating the way CEQA addresses each of those, and they are addressed separately. So VMT is addressed one way. We're not bringing up LOS and VMT. We're talking about public safety hazards here. And those would be the environmental impacts that are of concern to us. The other issue that we raised in the letter is the CUP. Those findings also are lacking in substantial evidence in the record. And even if they did have substantial evidence, you cannot make two of the findings required for the CUP because of the environmental impacts associated with the traffic. And again, Mr. Valdez will speak to those. So unless you have any questions about my letter, I would like to give our expert the opportunity to speak to the significant environmental impacts we believe exist here as a result of the traffic, the additional traffic that will be generated by the project, and why, in fact, the appeal should be granted. And should the applicant choose to resubmit their project, an EIR would be required. Any questions at this time?
Seeing none.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sergio Valdez. I'm a registered transportation traffic engineer in the state of California. I reviewed the traffic study that was submitted, the traffic impact analysis was submitted in April. And one of the comments that I have, one of the main comments, is that the trip generation for the direction from where the traffic is coming from, it has 60% of the traffic coming from north of the project and only 10% coming from State Route 99, from Highway 99. And that doesn't seem to be a reasonable consideration, because you have 30% coming from road, 10% from State Route 99, yet this is going to be a fueling station, a truck stop, that's going to be having regional impacts. you have a lot of traffic getting off at from Highway 99, and a lot of impacts from that because it's going to be used by that. You have 20 fueling positions, 6 of which are trucks, and you have a weigh station there. So you're going to have a lot of a large substantial portion of your traffic coming from State Route 99, and to have put down only 10% is not correct. It should be much higher than that. And you have 30% on road, which seems to be too much. 30% versus 10% from the freeway. That's not really even logical. You have 60% coming from up north, which should probably be a smaller amount. I realize that you have your that some studies were done shows where the different traffic is coming from, but that's really more aimed for like a Walmart or that type of a use, not a use where you have a fuel stop, a truck stop that's of this type. The other thing that you have is that you have the entrance and the exits from road. There was no calculations done to see if the entrances have good sight distances. I couldn't find any in the traffic impact analysis. I didn't also see if you may have to dedicate some additional land, do some restriping to be able to accommodate those trucks that go in, and I believe in the south driveway and come out from there. And even the northern driveways, you have vehicles, passenger vehicles that are going in and out, and it's right at the terminus of a curve, which makes it difficult. The sight distances are small. I didn't see any sight distance analysis done that. I didn't see turning templates done for the trucks. And so those are things that can have substantial, significant traffic impacts, that do have substantial traffic impacts unless they're studied and ameliorated. The last thing on there is the operational impacts. When this was done, the study I saw, Mitchell Road and Road took a pass-by trip discount, which is normal. I mean, we all know that there's a pass-by trip discount. But normally when you have at the adjacent intersection, you do not take a pass-by trip discount. And the reason for that is you want to find out what the full operational impact of that intersection is. And so you don't do a pass-by trip discount. And in this case, it was taken at that intersection. You can go through and take a pass-by trip discount at intersections which are farther away from the project. But usually the project site ones, you normally never do a pass-by trip discount on that. When you're doing the operational analysis to look at that. And so those are the three main things that I find that this traffic study is lacking. And so there's substantial evidence that significant impacts occur. And so with the information that's been submitted, so you need to go through and look at this much more carefully to make sure that these impacts are not there, because it seems to me that they are. Right now, looking at that, at the traffic study, it doesn't address any of those things. So that's basically my presentation. I don't know if you have any questions.
To see a button pressed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of questions, Mr. Valdez.
Yes.
You mentioned one of your concerns was the percentage of traffic and where it's actually coming from. But Mrs. Kitterman said that you were going to be discussing the public safety concerns that they had. So you had mentioned a site analysis and turning issues, but what were the other major public safety issues that were affecting?
The fact that you have the intersection, which is so close to State Route 99, Mitchell Road and Road, and the analysis there does not take into use the pass-by trip discount, so it wasn't properly analyzed to see if it was going to have any deleterious effects on traffic there. It should have not taken any pass-by trip discounts there, because you have an intersection there that leads into a major shopping center with a lot of fast food locations. You have Road where access will be taken to from this project. You have the off-ramp on the northbound State Road, northbound 99. You have the other, and then you have on and off ramps all in that area. That wasn't really analyzed the way it should have been analyzed.
Thank you, sir. And what's the minimum distance a fueling station needs to be from the freeway?
There isn't really any standard on that. That has to be analyzed using site distances and site distance calculations, and I didn't see any site distance calculations here.
So it's more of the discount that they took is more of a concern, not the distance they are from
Well,
through itself.
there's two different issues. One of them is a site distance, which is on road. The other
Correct.
one is the discounts that we're taking on Michelle Road and Road, and the intersectional operational impacts. So they're two separate impacts.
I want to clarify, it's for you, sir, it's an issue of the discount they're taking and not the distance they are from the freeway?
It's an issue of both, that the intersection is close by to the freeway. It's also adjacent to the project. Most of the traffic will be coming out through Road onto Michelle Road. And it's going to be the way, even with using their own numbers, they have 70% of the traffic coming out through that intersection and 30% through Road. Although it's probably higher, it's probably more like 80% and 20% on Road. And the pass by discount was taken there. So I've looked at many of these. I've looked at hundreds of these analysis in my 30 some years of working on them. And I would say that this is a deficiency that it has. I would have had this analyzed more thoroughly.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next comment.
Good evening, council members and mayor and staff. Thank you very much for working on this. My name is Sunny Guy. I'm the appellant and the Popeyes franchisee. I did not see anything in the recent reports about the issues that we brought up later on. I believe that a lot of members from the community over here who are opposed to this project and support the appeal are present. And if we started letting everybody talk, you would probably go into tomorrow morning. But truck stops and truck fueling need to be separated. Truck stops bring a lot of ills with them, and they need to be isolated on their own, where truck people can park, drink, do whatever they want. This is a gas station to which you're adding truck fueling, which is trucks turning around, blind corners. The truck drivers are going to park on the street. The PD says they will handle it. I don't see the PD anywhere in this country being able to control regular law and order. So you just want to add on more stuff. And we will see those trucks parked. We will see the accidents. We will see a lot of other ills coming from them. We've already said we have no problem if they want to put up a gas station, but not truck fueling. Truck fueling needs to be truck stops. This is not a truck stop. They can create it 5 miles further to the east, where the truck drivers can park, sleep, do whatever they want, add more food to it, not in a urban neighborhood where traffic is just crazy and cause accidents, and people will stop coming there. All the businesses around there are going to lose. And we still have the big 800-pound gorilla in Walmart that eventually may decide to put that up. So my contention is that then this needs to be viewed as a whole single piece, that what else is it going to do? Yes, we understand staff says that there's no truck fueling, but there are other better locations that they can make where there's not that much traffic. It doesn't have to be right off the freeway where everybody else is congregating. So the community, as you can see, doesn't want it. And we would like you guys to consider all the facts and put it all together. And if they want to do just a gas station, then they can come back and take off those truck lanes. But we have pointed out earlier as well, and repeat, that you are going to see trucks parked there. You're going to see accidents. You're going to see cars smashed, people get killed, drivers drinking. And as far as we know, loitering, panhandling, it will bring everything to that corner that we do not want. So please do think about everything else before you make a decision on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person.
Mayor, one point of clarification from a procedural standpoint. This is the part where the council is considering statements made by the appellant and the applicant before we open to public comment. So I'm not sure if the next speaker is part of the appellant's presentation or not, but I want to make sure that that's clear.
Will the appellant like to make a comment?
The appellant made a comment. I don't believe this gentleman is with the Maverick team, so I would request then that the Maverick team be able to speak first. I think the appellant's team is done. Diana?
Half of the client, real estate wise, if that works.
Not the public hearing portion. So we had the appellant speak and his team, and then we're having the applicant, unless Diane, you have more people.
Thank you, Greg.
So much for your time. Do you have any questions for me? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Todd Myers, 185 South State Street, Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm an employee of Maverick, and I just want to say we are looking forward to being part of your community. I've easily permitted within 100 different jurisdictions, and I can tell you right now that your staff ranks with all of them at the top. They're very professional, they're trained, and they serve the city well. They treated both applicant and appellant with respect. They used their knowledge to make their recommendations. Your planning commission did not rubber stamp the approval. I was very impressed with them. They listened to everybody that presented. One person late in the hearing even said that he didn't know how he was going to vote, that this was a difficult issue. But after he had listened to the rest of the testimony and the discussion, that was the person that made the recommendation. So they did a thorough job. They did the job that you would want your commission to do. If I could see the site plan, if we could show the site plan. As she's pulling this up, it's kind of a unique site. I don't think I've ever had a site that's been surrounded by roads on all sides, with the highway being to the south, major streets to the east, or excuse me, to the west, and then curving around the project on the north and the east. You have commercial regional uses that are across the street. You have your highway, as mentioned earlier, and we're the first light off of the highway. Very similar to the appellant with his business. What we've done with this site, and we started doing this about 15 years ago, in providing fueling options for people that maybe they're driving their RV, driving their U-Haul, or they were driving a commercial truck. They don't exactly fit over with where the pedestrian vehicles are. And so we have this area that's laid out specially for them to the south. And as you can see, there is a dark bar that is just to the north of those fueling lanes. Now, there's been a lot of references to truck stops. This is not a truck stop. This truck stop is not going to be 3.5 acres. It's going to be maybe 20 acres, maybe 40 acres. It's going to have truck lounges and showers. What we provide is the opportunity to fuel. And that black line that I referenced is so that they could pull forward and just run into the store. So our vehicles are going to be on site typically about 7 minutes. So they'll fuel, they'll pull into a parking stall, they'll run in, they'll grab their Diet Coke or whatever they're drinking, maybe grab something to eat. The trucks are going to be on the site about 20 minutes. For the most part, what they'll do is they'll pull into that fuel lane, they'll fill up, and they'll run in the store. If there's trucks queuing up behind them, Then they'll pull up to that black line so that somebody else can fuel. So this is by no means a truck stop where you're going to have people there for hours at a time. There's references to, well, what about trucks? They're going to be parking all over the place. Parking in non-designated areas. California law really addresses that quite well. A parking violation will hurt their CDL insurance. That will make it so they're harder to employ. They'll make it so that if they're self-employed, their insurance, their operating costs are higher. And so a lot of these issues do solve themselves. At Planning Commission, we had both the fire and the police read statements supporting this application. They did not express any concerns. Matter of fact, we even had the appellant saying the existing site, trucks park there. So this is going to clean that up. It's also going to lead to the street improvements as part of this development. The other thing you've seen is the economic impact on the project. There was the slide that showed it. If we could go to that. And so you can see there's a lot of help with city future projects. There's going to be funded through this development. But this development is going to do more than that, because what it's going to do is it's going to prime the pump for the development, the spark, for the development across the street. So on Road that currently has a lot of vacant property, I would anticipate as soon as somebody, whether it be Maverick or somebody else, goes over there and they start to put a shovel into the ground, other businesses will start looking in that area too. And as I said earlier, Maverick, our customers basically turn over every 7 minutes. And so there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to look at that and say, we want to capture some of that business too. Competition is something that's good. It is going to force us to have better pricing. It's going to force us to have better products inside of our stores. It's going to force us to have cleaner facilities, to welcome the public. We're going to do what we can to earn the customers. Those customers do not belong to anybody. The business that goes out and best serves their needs is the one that's going to be rewarded with their business. It's kind of been surprising on this one. I don't think I've ever had a business, a competitor fight so hard against another competitor coming into the market. This property makes sense for it to be developed for regional commercial uses. It makes sense to have a C-store in this location. Now, I heard there was an article in the paper saying that you have a lot of C-stores here. 30 years ago, a C-store was probably a C-store, but today they're not. Everybody is going to have their own brand of what they're offering on the inside. The products they offer, the type of foods they offer. Everybody is looking to compete for that consumer. And Maverick has been very successful at competing for consumers. I've been with the company for about 15 years, and I've seen a lot of changes inside of our stores as we try to find that special recipe for getting people into our stores. And we want to offer that to the residents here in your community. And I hope that we can earn their business. I have with me three of our consultants here. I have our civil engineer, I have our traffic engineer, and CEQA. We're here to answer whatever questions and hopefully make this decision easy for you. We do ask that you would that you would accept what's being proposed in the staff report, the category exception for CEQA, but that you would uphold all of the other recommendations the Planning Commission worked so hard for. With that, I'm happy to stand for any questions or let our consultants ask the more detailed ones.
Council have any questions? Councilmember Vieira, go ahead.
I guess on here, I know it doesn't show both sides of the road when I was looking at the exhibit on there. I just wanted to confirm a couple of things. Now, the light, I believe, was existing lights, and so that wouldn't add, it would be a straight through from one to the other. It wouldn't be uneven or unparalleled like we have in front of Ono's and Walmart. I just want to make sure it was going to go through and we weren't adding another light to the. Okay, that was my question. And then the other one is I didn't see the CalGreen regarding the EV chargings or setup. And so I just wanted to confirm that that was going to be CalGreen compliant.
Good evening. My name is Farman Shear. I'm with Site Design Collaborative, civil engineers for Maverick. And I can help address the EV charging station. Also, the question that was brought up regarding site distance and our circulation driveways. Is it possible to have the site plan back? So we are proposing 2 EV stalls to be operational at the time of grand opening, with additional 6 EV stalls to be added in the future. That is the required number of charging stations that we need to have. So we are proposing those. And then as far as the circulation, I'd like to point out 3 items. One is regarding the location and the placement of the northernmost driveway to the intersection. That driveway is a right-in only, so only auto users will be using that driveway. We have signage directing the trucks to go straight and use the last driveway on the left-hand side of the southernmost driveway. So the first driveway is right-in only for autos. And then as far as the stopping site distance is concerned, we have provided the Public Works and Engineering Department. We've worked with them during the site plan approval process to provide them with calculations that shows that we have 320 feet of clear distance. We had to relocate our dumpster enclosure and do some modifications as a result of that, but that was all done during the site plan review process with the staff. And we provided them with calculations that shows the safety and the site distance from the center driveway where the vehicles and trucks are going to be making turns there. The required distance is 209 feet for our project based on the curvature of road and the speed. And we're providing 320 feet of clear site distance. And the third items that I'd like to point out is that all of the off-site improvements for road, including curb, gutter, sidewalk, and the 3 curb cuts that you see, they are going to be constructed as part of the approved drawings that are going to be done by the master developer for this site. And so the driveways are already approved as part of the public improvement plans and are not necessarily going to be constructed by Maverick, the sidewalk and the curb and gutter. And if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. I also want to just confirm, I think I read it in the original plans that there were going to be cameras, where the camera is going to be visible over the entire location and accessible. I believe it mentioned something about accessible by our police, if and when needed. And then I also wanted to confirm the hours and no long-term parking, because I do know with trucks, they do have to have their breaks. And I just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be taking their 10-hour breaks parked there.
First of all, yes, we can sign the property limiting how long they're there. So that, yeah, we don't want, if you don't want overnight parking, which we don't have it on this site, there's not enough space for it. We're happy to do that. And when we do our sites, there'll be a lot of red curb all the way around this project, because if you start having people park in areas, it kind of thumbs up the circulation. I can't remember the second question.
Cameras and accessibility for our police department?
Oh, yes, yes. We use very good quality cameras. Typical store is going to have about 24 cameras. That's both inside and outside. For the most part, it's just cameras. There is one that is also audio. But we do work with police departments quite frequently on this.
Just to confirm the hours, they weren't, I believe during the planning commission, they said they weren't 24 hours and there wasn't, so I just wanted to confirm the hours.
Hours of operation?
Yes, that's correct. When we're going to be dealing with.
We'd be looking to operate 24/7.
You are looking at 24/7. Thank you.
Just to follow up, so is that 24/7 for the convenience store, or would your convenience store close at maybe 10 o'clock at night and the fueling stations would stay open 24/7?
Most of our stores all operate 24/7. We would ask to be 24/7. Those late night hours are great times to stock the shelves, clean. And if you leave a store vacant, then you're kind of, you can get vandalism and so forth. And so we'd prefer to operate 24/7.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. George Gussain, we're the traffic engineers who conducted this study. I wanted to address, a couple of the items that was mentioned, through the discussion. So the first thing is the distribution of the project. I understand that, if it's a new project that's drawing this traffic, that's one thing. But as we all agree that this is really a locally serving facility, what does that mean? That means it's compatible with residential. That's your customers. People driving home, leaving to work, they stop by and fill up. So if you notice that when we say 60% coming from the freeway, then it's not a local serving. Some people coming way far, coming to this, specifically to this location. This is why you heard a lot of the truck stop. Truck stop leads, it's a destination. Why is it not a truck stop? This is truck friendly compared to the surrounding gas stations. When it comes to the distance from the freeway, what is the difference between this one and the one across the street? Not only that, accessing the same intersection. Exactly the same. Except the Maverick gas station provides bigger and more convenient space to maneuver in and out for trucks. Absorb existing truck traffic, especially when you're located at a truck route, as mentioned. You're capturing that. That's the service that you're providing. Most of your residential is to the north. What we wanted to really discuss here is the LOS and the VMT. Okay, the VMT, it seems like we agree on that this is a locally serving. It's not going to be environmental issue because this is the metric that we use for the traffic or transportation related impact. For the general plan, which this site is consistent with the general plan, consistent with the specific plan consistent with the zoning designation. It's consistent with all document that you have. What we're coming here is to really demonstrate that VMT is exempt. LOS, we analyzed the entire corridor from the freeway all the way to Whitmore to make sure that the entire corridor works and not analyzing only one or two and then you forget the northern one. You need to analyze that. We also, as part of the baseline that we established, we included all classification on the road, buses, trucks, everything, to be part of the baseline. So we know that there's truck traffic and we know that they're gonna eventually utilize this site. All intersections are operating at a really good level of service road, and Mitchell operates at the B. Okay, well, you want to add more to it, or you want to double count, or you want to analyze more, it's not going to take you to E. This is a really good intersection, and the fact that there's a lot of capacity on it because of the fact that it shares with the driveway. It's not a full-blown intersection, you know, where you have a lot of traffic on it. The gateway is the one at Service. That's where you have all the traffic. It's not this one. This one provides exclusive right turn lane where we're gonna put our site. You're not gonna be blocking the through traffic. There's capacity, there's hatched area. If you wanna increase the capacity, you can in the future when the regional project comes in for improving the interchange, you know, and facilitate all the traffic. And the good thing that this thing evaluated at the right time. We're not speculating, oh, what's gonna happen to Walmart traffic or what's gonna happen to the, you know, to the traffic across the street. It's all set up. We did establish a really good baseline. We're not speculating. So I wanted to kind of address these things, you know, because when I start hearing the separation, the distance, and the level of service, I just want to make sure that, you know that the baseline incorporated all the trucks, all classification, and level of service has been provided. We wanted to make sure that we are going to be consistent with the general plan and the circulation element. Thank you. I'll be available for more questions if you have.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much. Would you like to add something?
The appellant would like to make a few more comments. Originally, when we had talked about time limits, I think it was mentioned 10, but in discussions today with Nubia, really the applicant and the appellant don't have a restriction on time, so we would like Ms. Kinderman to be able to address some comments if you're okay with that, prior to public hearing for this gentleman.
Yes. Sir.
I'm William Rossi at 3221 Redwood Road. I have a house there. Also have a business at the corner of.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. We are almost done with the applicant. And as soon as we're done with her, we'll have you come back up, if that's okay.
I didn't understand you.
I said we weren't finished. So if you don't mind, I'll have the applicant come back up and make a comment, and then we'll call you back up.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate your time and your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to rebut to some of the testimony. We appreciate the benefits of this project, but it still must be addressed through the filter of CEQA. And we still believe, and we've set forth in the record twice for the city, that CEQA has issues here. And there still are significant impacts, safety hazard impacts that have not been addressed. And the applicants, we do not believe, have addressed those in their comments. Our traffic engineer would like an opportunity to respond to some of the traffic comments made. So we appreciate the benefits of the project for the city. It could be terrific, but they need to comply with CEQA. It's just the way it works. Every applicant has to do it, and they have to do it as well. Any questions for me?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, hello, Sergio Valdez, registered traffic engineer once more. The trip distribution does have a significant impact. as to how the intersections are studied and the impacts that those intersections may have. If you're saying that this is a local serving use, it doesn't seem like that because you have six fueling stations specifically for trucks and that type of a use. So it is underestimated the amount of traffic that's coming from State Route 99. That's only 10%, it is much higher than that. Another point that I'd like to point out, since this is a Mitchell Road is designated as a truck corridor, when the traffic counts were done, if you have a lot of trucks on the road when you're doing these counts, you have to separate the traffic, when the traffic counts are done, the passenger cars from the trucks. Because when you have an intersection, trucks take up a lot more time to get through an intersection, and that's why you have what's called passenger car equivalents. So as the base traffic, when this was done, when you have a high number of a good percentage of trucks that are going through there, it should have been done in a way that you counted the passenger cars and also the truck traffic, and then you go back into your study and you do a passenger car equivalent of the base traffic. So it's very likely that this intersection may not truly be operating the level of service B. Once you take into account all the truck traffic that's on there, it may be a higher rate. As far as I can tell on the study, that was not, and I didn't see the counts on there, whether they were truly separated enough. But it could be that it actually has a higher amount, that the level of service is actually a bit worse because of the fact that you have a high truck traffic. So I'd like to make those points. The other point is that the site access and all of that, I didn't see that in the traffic study. There were 3 traffic studies done for this project, and they weren't included in those. It seems that this was done separately with engineering, but I never saw those calculations that were shown on there. So I don't see them. It's not something that, at least that was disclosed in the report. I didn't see that anywhere in any of the 3 traffic studies that were done. So that would be my rebuttal. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions? No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
So at this point, the appellant has requested additional time for a rebuttal. If we can get it clear on the record that the appellant has concluded, then it's up to the council, to your discretion, if you want to allow a sub rebuttal to that, a response. But at this point, it's probably best to go towards public comment.
I personally recommend that we don't go back and forth. I mean, we've already pretty much heard what they both had to say, but if the council disagrees, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I would like to give them the fair opportunity in rebuttal since we gave yes.
Okay, according to the council, just wanted to make sure. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. Just really quick, the one key point that I want to mention, the counts, if we included this information in the appendices, it really breaks down not only the traffic, the single, passenger cars, trucks, buses, RVs. It identify all of these different classification. It accounts depending on the axle number. It accounts for that passenger equivalent. So passenger car equivalent is accounted for. So I just want to make sure that you understand that the baseline is accounting for that was a misstatement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Sir, actually, I have a question for you.
My apologies.
I just want to clarify, you did do the separation of passenger vehicles and trucks, and you did include it, correct?
Yes, sir. The way that we did the counts, when we do the counts, because you need to really establish a baseline. So the counting firm looks into the different classification, and I can, I wish I can show an example. I don't have it with me, but I have it on my computer, and it's very clear. It breaks it up into different 4 axles, buses, and then at the end, it will account for the PCEs, to give you the final count of cars at that intersection at certain time of the day.
Thank you.
So, thanks.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll go ahead and go to the public now. If there's any members of the public who would like to make a comment on this item, you're more than welcome to. And actually, Mr. William, the gentleman that was up here before, was it on, William, was it on this issue? Just want to make sure.
I have no.
Go ahead, Mr. William. Just because he was patiently waiting, but thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, council member.
Thank you for your time. I'm William Rossi. I own the property at 3221 Redwood Road, the corner of Road and Redwood Road. I also have the business at corner of Esmar Road and Road. I've been there for over 30 years, and I've watched Road go from frontage road to road, and now starting out, it's my understanding, 4 lanes going into Keys. It's going to be a high-speed thoroughfare. It already is. I live it every day. I drive it every day. You have vehicles going 60, 70 miles an hour. And coming up to this facility here, I see no problem getting onto it from Road. The question is getting off of it. And I'm sure you all know from the intersection all the way almost past Esmar, it's a double yellow line. You're talking about a major S turn there where you can't even see these inlets and outlets. You're right on top of them. And I'm talking about seconds. And you got cars going that fast down there. And we haul oversized loads. And the Mitchell intersection there is such a disaster. It backs up. I have my drivers now go down Esmar. I don't even go on the frontage road anymore. And you're going to add more big trucks and things there. It's just a recipe for disaster. We go down Esmar all the way to Service and then turn and get to the lights where you have the big interchange and you have the widths and stuff to make the turns. If what I would do if I were you guys, I'd drive it. And then you're going to see, start from Keys and come through or go past Esmar Road and then Redwood Road, and you're going to see the S turn. The biggest problem you have also is the road is lower than the bridge that goes over the canal. And when you come into that S turn to get to this first exit here on their plan, you're not even going to see it till you're right on top of it. It'll be a matter of seconds before you're going to have nothing but collisions with big rigs 70, 80 feet long trying to pull across 2 or 3 lanes to head back to Mitchell Road. My main concern is, of course, you're going to have a number of accidents, there's no doubt about it. They just can't stop, especially in the winter months when we have the high density fog and you can't hardly even see in front of you. And you've got these cars traveling from the Keys area and that frontage road into the Mitchell interchange. But if you drove it yourself, I think you'd see it, and you can see you're not going to have time to stop. It's going to be a matter of eventually, if you allow this, what my concern is, that eventually you'll put no left turn, because it's just going to be too dangerous. And then you're going to have these big rigs turning right, and then they're going to try to get back onto Esmar Road and go over to Service and come back to the lights. I've already talked to the county, if this facility does go in, about them working with us to put a load limit on Redwood Road, because it's only a small farm road. You can't get 2 big rigs past you. You can't hardly even get 2 cars past each other. And I'm worried about the deterioration of Redwood Road eventually when these big rigs, and I don't blame the truck driver, I do the same thing. Foggy day, how am I going to pull across 3 lanes and you got 70-mile-an-hour cars zipping by you? It's just a recipe for disaster, And I think you're going to end up with a lot of personal injury lawsuits. I would really consider you guys driving it or have one of your individuals sit there from about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock at the south end of this facility, and you can see how fast those cars come around that S-turn. Obviously, there's a reason why there's a double yellow line there. It's unsafe to pass, let alone drag a big 80-foot truck from dead stop across that type of traffic. And when it's going to get worse every year, so if you are going to allow it, I would say at least put traffic lights in where they're going to be pulling out. We're not worried about getting into it. It's getting out, so we don't have
very much.
a number of collisions.
Thank you so much. Your time is up. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. Greg Scudder, I know that you had came up earlier.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Just wanted to be fair.
Thank you, Mayor Lopez, council, everybody from Ceres helping everything out. I was not speaking on behalf of Maverick, so I'm sorry if I said anything like that. I'm a huge fan of Ceres. Matter of fact, on the proposed site, I used to ride a motorcycle right there. And if you really know Ceres, you know that kind of luxury limousine is parked in that corner, right where this proposed spot is going. What I will say is that this is such a right to farm area, and we're missing out on a lot of trucking opportunities to get money coming into our city, just passer buyers. And I totally disagree, with all due respect. I think that's the perfect way to get off Mitchell Road and to get into a spot safely and to also exit. You don't have to exit onto Mitchell. You can exit on the back side. You can get back on the freeway up into Keys. I think that a Mavericks would greatly generate income for our community. I totally just grateful for the opportunity. I know that we've kind of had some issues with, a little bit of maybe of a deficit and whatnot with the budget, but I don't see how we couldn't not take in an opportunity like this. And I'm gonna keep it quick. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I mean, as a lifelong Ceres resident, I don't see any other way really to say it than as of that. Really, we got such a great, bigger name coming in to our town, and how could we pass up this opportunity? And I'm speaking to the choir, maybe to you guys or whatever, but it's a huge deal. If we can make it half a year, I think that's great. But thank you guys for your time. Keep it short, but thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much. Next person, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. My name is AJ Singh. I'm not much of an expert on all, everybody has spoke quite a bit of everything, but as a reality, I mean, if you're a truck driver, if you're actually a driver, like the gentleman said, it's going to take 20 minutes to fuel one. And then I imagine if there's a 20 minutes for a truck driver to come out, fuel, go, it's going to take a lot longer than that. And my main concern is that the traffic is going to be such a mess here. If you really, like you mentioned that if you could go and look at it, I don't have much to say, but I'm just saying that this is going to be a disaster because there'll be accidents, more traffic. We already have it. And it's coming off the freeway too. It's going to stop the traffic a lot. Just watch. And I just want to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person, please.
Brandy Meyer, citizen, business owner, and chamber member. I just want to say that I'm in favor of this project because same thing, I'm going to piggyback on what Greg Scudder said. I mean, how could you not do this project? The economic part of it is too much to pass up. As far as traffic, I was concerned at first when this project came to light, but really any development in that area is going to be producing traffic. So whether it's this one or another project, we're going to have the same issue either way. So I'm in favor of it. Not to mention that I'm an RV owner, and that was brought up that we don't have an RV dumping station in Ceres. So for us, when we're out on the road, this is a huge enhancement for us. So I'm in favor of this project.
Thank you very much. Next person, please.
Good evening. My name is Jacob. While I introduce myself, I'd request that the site plan be pulled up. We can. I personally enjoy using this commercial park. I shop at Walmart and I will never turn down a double-double. I am concerned as a member of this community regarding the safety and traffic impacts of this project. I am glad the civil engineer and many others have discussed the driveways. I would like to speak on the design of them. The northernmost driveway is currently called out as a 40-foot wide entrance-only driveway with 2 ingress lanes. In my experience, this is a very large driveway for regular traffic. The typical driveway construction.
I apologize, sir. Can we pause this time? Can we get that site map up like you'd requested? It popped up and disappeared. I don't know who's controlling that.
The request has to be authorized by council. So if the this is public comment and it's the presentation component, it's really just for the applicant and the appellant.
Right, but someone went through the process of putting it up and then it disappeared. So they already did it, essentially.
So if the council wants the site plan back up.
I have no problem.
I'm okay with that as well.
Thank you for bringing it up.
While we get that up, can we get your last name, please?
Yes, Jacob Collins.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. If you wouldn't mind continuing, sir.
Yep. So as I was saying, the northernmost driveway, which is plan right on this exhibit coming up, it's called out as a 40-foot wide entrance-only driveway with 2 ingress lanes. In my experience, this is very large for regular traffic. Typical commercial driveways are anywhere from 26 to 30 feet. There are plans to install signs that say no truck entrance, but it seems to me this is a false effort to stop trucks entering. To me, this entrance's actual design intent seems to be misleading. This driveway is also very close to the Mitchell Road intersection, and if trucks do end up using this driveway, traffic will be heavily impacted. In addition, the southernmost driveway, which is on the left side of the sheet, it's an all-way vehicle access, so entry and exit from the site, but this is the truck's main entrance. So by doing this, you're encouraging pedestrian traffic vehicles to cross through the site. That's across the truck fueling area. My last comment is that the site plan highly influences the co-mixing of passenger vehicles and semis. Trucks enter through the south driveway while passenger vehicles enter through the north. However, both traffic flows exit through the same center driveway. Typically, in truck fueling stations, semi-trucks and passenger vehicles are separated, and for very good reason. That's all.
Thank you very much, sir. Can we have the next person, please?
Hello, everyone. Council member, my name Nirmal Chandi. We're here to protect my family members, my friends, my neighborhood. This community is going to be Mitchell Road, very heavy traffic already, and a truck stop. I hear that lot is not truck stop, is a truck fueling. Does not the different anything with the truck stop and a fueling position. Truck still can drive the same road. They not can come from the sky to the fuel the diesel. The word just to convince the people is that is a truck fueling. Truck fueling more scary to this traffic. They don't have any park to be parked after fuel. They can park the truck. Maybe they can back up and block the road. Drunk driver lot in this state right now, all over the America right now. They can be drunk drive. They can hit somebody. Someone can die. This kind happen can be lot after this truck stop can be open. We really request to this city, we love to this city, we in the last 30 years this city. We really request to this city, humble request, we need to deny this. We don't need this truck stop. I hear a lot, and one actually gentleman say that this is a big name coming to the city. This is our request, is a big name coming to the city, is a lots of traffic, can be happen accident lot. No can recover, anybody die, no can recover with those truck stop money. So anybody lose somebody, then I can help to them. Thus, this is our request. Again, this is a humble request. We need to be denied this thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have the next person, please.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jakpreet Sani, and I represent the 76 gas station on Mitchell Road. And the owners could not be over here because they did not receive any notice about today's hearing. And I wanted to bring to your notice that I keep hearing that the appellant is a competition to Maverick, but as far as my knowledge goes, the appellant has no ownership in the 76 gas station. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have the next person, please. Yes.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and my dear council members. My name is Bikram, and I'm one of the, I live in cities. And I'm here to, first of all, really thank you, for giving us an opportunity to present our thoughts. Now, the first thing that comes into my mind is, the thing my father used to say, that son, remember, don't try to fix something which is not broken. So the thing is, do we really need a gas station at the project which has been put on the table? We already have a number of gas stations on Mitchell Road. And I don't think so there is any particular requirement of any more gas stations in that place. Secondly, sometimes look at the example of Turlock. When I work in Turlock, so whenever I go to Turlock, we see a huge number of vehicles which are, jam-packed, which are going towards the north. And that is the scenario every morning. And I'm, thanks to God that, I'm not on the other side of the road because it's always blocked. And just imagine the trucks maneuvering from Mitchell Road and going towards north, the time they take to maneuver. And I think they're just going to make the situation worse rather than helping us reduce the traffic. Now, if we go to Turlock, let's take an example of where the truck stop is. It's just like, I think 2 miles ahead of the Lander cross section, I think, which is an ideal place for truck stop to be. And I don't think so they, interfere with the traffic in Turlock while we take the exit towards the Lander gas station. So what I feel is, rather than having a gas station, which, is not really required, we should think about other businesses so that they can establish and, flourish and in that particular spot. My dear friend mentioned an example of having the EV charging stations at that particular project. Now, with our President Trump already having a feud with Elon Musk, I think the prices for the EV vehicles are going to skyrocket. And I've seen people who are already migrating from EV cars to hybrids or other conventional vehicles. So considering the future of the EV vehicles, I'm not sure, I can't predict the future, but to me, it feels like maybe people might not be opting for EV stations. So having an EV station at that project might not be beneficial for our community. Now, this community sitting over here, I think they are just a fraction of people who are, representing or protesting against this gas station. If you look at the actual picture, if the other people of Ceres, if they come to know about this project, I'm sure you will see hundreds of people protesting outside. Now, I have a daughter. She studies in Virginia Parks. And every day, every morning when I drop her at the school, I don't take the Mitchell Road because ideally I should be taking the Mitchell Road. That is the, the way for me to, the shortest way to go to Turlock. However, I have to go the other way around. This is just an example where, I'm trying to express my concerns as to why Mitchell Road is just going to congest, because the trucks coming out of the truck stop, it's just going to bottleneck the exit. And then I don't think that's an ideal place for us to establish a truck stop. We can maybe, I do appreciate they're going to bring something beneficial for the people who are traveling from 99 from south or from north, but the people who are using the Mitchell Road on daily basis, this is going to be maybe a disastrous, decision for them. And I'm sure you have been chosen, as a decision maker on behalf of all the people who live in the cities. So I really, whatever decision you make, we are going to accept it wholeheartedly. However, I would like to just request you to please take into consideration the amount of hassle and the safety issues that are going to arise once this project comes into picture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Naveen Takral, and I have been living in this community for a long time. And I've listened to for building a new truck stop and listening to the other people, those against truck stop. When I looked at the site, I think compared to the site, the other of Highway 99 Lodi and one Ripon and Livingston, this site is right on the freeway, and we don't have enough infrastructure to accommodate this site. And I'm not going to take a long time. I strongly recommend to deny the request for this structure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else?
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
My name is Sam Cascio. I am the property owner. In 1982 is when I came to this country. Didn't speak any English. 1984, started my first business, washing cars here in Ceres and Modesto. At one point, we were at about 1,500 cars a day, hand washed at night. And then I went on to the car business, Three Amigos, in 1992. It's been 33 years. And at one point when we were on Mitchell and Hatch and Ceres, we were in the top 10 most tax generating business in Ceres. I love this community. I've been around here for a long time, and I want good things to happen. And this is just one of the things. And one thing that you haven't heard is the opposition has been trying to buy the property nonstop from me. And that has not been mentioned. But I appreciate you guys. I know you'll do the right thing for the community, and God bless you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Hello, Mayor and City Council. I appreciate you taking all the comments from everybody that's here today. I actually spoke on this, I believe it was back in April. And there's a few issues that, and just to kind of give you my background, I'm a consultant on a lot of commercial developments. I work for a lot of commercial developers. Just to kind of give you an idea, shopping center in Patterson.
Can you please state your name, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank Orozco. And I'm throughout the Central Valley, Contra Costa County, from Sacramento to Fresno. And one of the things that even tonight that I keep hearing is, we're not a truck stop, we're not a truck stop. But yet I heard 90% of everything that was discussed is about truck parking, about truck stacking. And that's one of the issues that we spoke about in April is truck stacking. You got to realize that's 40-foot rig. 3 of those trucks is 120 feet. You get 3 of those trucks stacked up, and now you have cars stacked up at the same time. The gentleman that spoke first is, in my opinion, spot on as far as what the liability is, how dangerous the traffic would be. At the same time, one of the things that nobody has brought up today is you actually had a sheriff, or not a sheriff, I'm sorry, a CHP officer who came and spoke to city council at the same time. I've dealt with C-stores, QSRs, fuel stations, like I said, shopping centers. And the one thing that he said was that, are you ready, as well as the police department, for what truck stops bring? Now, Maverick is a subsidiary of Flying J. And again, we're talking about how, we got 40-foot long stalls to accommodate trucks, to accommodate trucks, to accommodate trucks. One thing I do know is an element that comes is prostitution. The CHP officer came up here and actually spoke in front of the city council and brought up that same issue. How are we going to keep trucks from pulling off the side of the road, going across the way and sleeping? And the response was, well, I guess we'll start giving them tickets. Do you have the manpower? Now, when I come to city councils and I talk on behalf of clients of mine, I'm a big economic development guy. Just did a McDonald's right off of Sperry, Patterson, and I-5. Huge moneymaker. But you got to come to a point where what's the cost of what you're going to lose as far as fatalities, accidents, stacking, the problems that it brings. One gentleman just mentioned a stoplight. Is that in the city coffers? We talk about, oh, well, Caltrans is going to come through, or the city is going to come through, and we're going to develop that area and come bigger. But the question is when? When is that going to come? How long does that come? And it's really hard, especially for cities of this side, when you bring in a big developer and you see all these tax dollars coming, and you think about what you could do with that money. But then you got to look at the liability of the other side, of the people who live here, of the other businesses, as how their impact, and what element it brings as well as, and I keep going back, I mean, the stacking, in my opinion, and I've looked at this pretty close, is in an outverter. When you get down there by Mitchell Road and you start getting 40-foot rigs, it only takes 3 to get 120 feet. That's it. So with that said, I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mandeep Kaur. This business bring another risk of lives already. We have already lot of traffic on Mitchell Road. It's my humble request to deny this business to save some lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charanjit Singh, and I'm a student of the environmental sciences. So this project gonna bring a lot of the health causes. It's not only the air pollution, contamination pollution, and the noise pollution. So the trucks, they have the heavy engine. So it's gonna bring a lot of noise at the night time. And we know on the backside of the Mitchell Road, there are a lot of residential areas, all our houses. And the average study shows that a smaller truck yard or fueling station spills the 45-gallon fuel in a year. So that's gonna be contamination in our water and air. So that's gonna bring a lot of the health cause. So it cause of the lung cancer and the skin causes. So we don't want this kind of the money and economy, which is the harmful for our society. So I'm not favor in this project. So which gonna cost for the our kids and the senior citizens of our city. So this project is not safe for the city and society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else? One last call before I go to Zoom. See no hands raised. I'll move to Zoom. We have, oh, sorry about that. Mr. Warren.
Council members, John Warren, City of Sirius. I spoke to the Planning Commission when this issue first came before them. And there are a lot of pros and cons about whether this is good for the city or it's not good for the city. The trucking industry is what it is. You're going to have a nice element, and then you're going to have an element that's not so nice. And it's going to bring its own troubles to the city that will have to be dealt with. And you're going to have to figure out if that's what you want or you don't want. Truck drivers are going to find a place to park and sleep no matter what. You just go down and look at the truck stop in Turlock. Some days the side of the road is just piled up with trucks. They have a time limit, so many hours that they can operate. And sometimes I believe with the new trucks, they just shut off. When you reach the end of your driving day, the truck shuts off and that truck is there until the time passes when the driver can continue on. All this stuff is done electronically with the logbooks and things today. And so that element's going to have, some guy pulls in there to get fuel and his truck shuts off. You aren't going to move it unless you bring a tow truck in and move it. So you need to think about those things as well. I do think that the amount of revenue that the sales tax will generate is substantial. We're talking about $700,000 in the first year approximately. But I think the city only gets 1% of that. The city doesn't get the total $700,000 unless that's 1% of what the total is. And that would be my question. Okay. So $7,000 would be what the city's portion of that sales tax would be, if my arithmetic is correct. Things to consider. I'm not going to say I'm for it. I'm not going to say I'm against it. It will be good for the city. And, but then again, it will bring its problems as well. And that's something that you have to decide about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Unless there's anybody else in the audience, I'll go to Zoom. We have 3 hands raised.
Jean Yeakley, your mic is unmuted. Jean, you'll want to unmute your mic. We are unable to hear you, Mr. Yeakley. Glenn Guzman, you may unmute your mic.
Hello, everyone. This is Galen Guzman, City. I live in Ceres. I've been living in Ceres, so I've seen Ceres grow as a city, and I'd like to say that I'm opposed to this gas station or truck stop fueling service station for the following reasons. I, we don't need another gas station, and if you listen to this the city residents, behind you, they're in person, they don't want it either, and it's not, there's already a gas station for cars. There's three gas stations on on Mitchell Road. We don't need this, and other people have discussed there and spoke about is the traffic. I frequent Mitchell Road. I use the off and on ramp of Mitchell Road, and people drive really, really fast, and we don't even have the adequate police officers to enforce speed limits, and also with the CHP, there's been more enforcement within the last few months I've noticed, but it just, we don't need another fueling station or fueling facility. I get it that, the city is in debt, or you know, we could say more about that, but we need more money, and this is a great economic opportunity. But you know, we got to think about other solutions because we need a grocery station, you know, that serves its citizens. Most people have to go to Modesto or Turlock to buy groceries. We have the Walmart, yeah, but it's not, you know, it's just a big corporation, you know, and we got to think about what other people want in the city. I didn't even know this was going to be talked about till like 2 hours before, you know, this public hearing. So I think there needs to be better advertisement as well as getting the word out, you know, about important issues again, you know, and yeah, that's all well, I don't know. Let me think about let's see. And yeah, about the air quality, I'm not sure like if recent you know, amendments to the code, the series code had anything to do with this, but you know, with exemption, you know, there's a lot of you know, I don't know, uh, we have our city logo, you know, our city seal with agriculture farms, you know, as the background. You know, if you just start adding more gas stations, it doesn't really represent who we are as a city moving forward, you know. And you got to think about that. We are in the Central Valley, and I think someone discussed it a few city council meetings ago that we are the heart of we have a lot of agriculture here, you know, and that's what makes, you know, us a good city, and we do not need another gas station, you know. There's going to be a lot of accidents, and yeah, and you can't bring people back unless you have, you know, epinephrine, you know. So we got to think, and ACLS, but you guys, this is a public health issue, and I think it's a risk for everyone. And yeah, I strongly advise you guys to vote no. So thanks.
Thank you. City Clerk.
Kimberly, you may unmute your mic.
Everyone. Like the person who spoke before me, I did not attend this meeting to speak on this issue, but I'm glad that by happenstance, I happen to be here. I agree wholeheartedly with the people who have spoke before me about why this is a bad idea for city residents. Not only is the traffic on that intersection at Mitchell absolutely insane to deal with, as a resident who frequently uses that service in Mitchell intersection, but we already have 3 gas stations. When we think about the fact that the city council has a goal to have a livable community and planning for the future and ensuring that we have adequate infrastructure, I do not see how adding additional redundancy to gas stations achieves that goal. It is very clear that there may be an economic advantage of this gas station being put into this specific lot, but there is a short-sightedness to the lack of infrastructure to support this. The off-ramp coming off of 99 to get onto Mitchell is frequently backed up. People come off that very fast. If we start adding an increase of big rigs into that, backing up the traffic to get onto road, that will be even more dangerous. I believe the site plan that was projected up earlier, referenced a raised median that would need to be built on road. Right now, I believe that's only painted and striped to provide a division between the 2 lanes of traffic. So that's an additional cost I believe the city would have to pay for, in addition to any increase in infrastructure to support sidewalks and anything else around this site. So not only would the city also have to pay in to improve the access into this location, but the city would also need to increase its budgets for police, as has been mentioned before. Code enforcement, all number of things that the city is already struggling to deal with. And I don't see that this is an investment worth the city making when there are other businesses and other opportunities that could be used to develop this area. So I don't think this is a good idea. I've lived in Ceres my entire life. I've seen the impact that the development in this area has caused, and I do not think that this is worth it. And that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Jean, you may unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now this time?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So by viewing the people tonight and all those people that had things to say, the pros, the cons, I believe that this is a bad decision too, amongst all those people that are sitting before you in the audience. I've listened to both sides of the people want to build, the traffic stuff, all this other, but the common sense part of it. And that property, you know, they can have all these consensus and studies all they want. That property isn't large enough. I was professional truck driver for years. I've been in all but 49 out of 50 states. I've been into every truck stop I could think of in all those states, and they all had large properties. I mean large, so you can navigate going in and going out. And, you know, most of them are in a commercial area that close to the highway. I mean, there's all kinds of problems with this situation. And the gentleman in the nice suit from Maverick that got up first, he even said that most truck stops have more acreage than this spot. And I think we all know that. And the people, I mean, as a previous truck driver, I watched all this stuff happen, you know, and you can go in any state and see these things in large truck stops too that have problems. And I think John Warren, as a well, I'll say it, law enforcement guy in the past, and he knows about these things. He patrolled the highways for many years, and he knows some of the things that I know. And you're going to bring crime into the city. There's no doubt about it. You're going to have prostitution. You're going to have drugs. You're going to have all kinds of things going on there if you let those trucks come in there. I mean, it's bad enough we already have some problems. Just look at the newspaper. Look at the police page and all the crime that happens in the city. You're going to have a problem. And those corners there, oh, forget that. There's not enough room for those. And the gentleman talked about stacking. I know about stacking. Yeah. When you get 2, 3, 4 trucks coming off the highway and it's going to back up down on the exit going north, coming north to Mitchell, you're going to have some issues. Do you want another gas station? Fine, put another one in there. Why don't you put in a car wash too? But you don't need another problem in the city. You know, it's a liability. And I know about the shortage of the funds and all the problems with what's going on with the general fund and just everything, all the departments, all that stuff. We don't need any more problems. Fix what we got now and do not allow that to come in there. We don't need another gas station. You know, I know they dotted all the dots and then crossed the T's and everything, and they did everything and filed for the permits and all that stuff because it's zone commercial or whatever. But we have to go beyond that and think above to the future. And that place there, it doesn't have enough room and it doesn't have enough future to it. Another thing, if you want to learn about truck stops, why don't you get somebody to drive you, find a truck driver to drive you up and down 99, stop at the big major truck stops and see how they're set up and how they go on and off the freeway. You know, you're going to find out the one in Ceres there, it's not the par. It's just a bad decision. And the people up there on the city council, if you vote for this, you're going to have to pay for it in the future. You're going to have a lot of problems. And those people that know about all these things, you know, fine, you know, they're getting paid. They got people paying them to come up with all these solutions and stuff. And maybe they're honest solutions, but not for our city. We don't need it. So, you know, make a decision. You know, if you vote for it and say yes, I hope you're ready for what comes afterwards, because there's going to be problems. And if you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. You better go to church. All right. See you. Bye. Casey laughing.
Is there any emails? No more hands, right?
There's no more hands raised, and yes, we did receive one email. It's from Surinder Singh. Support for construction of Maverick Truck Stop at Road and Ceres. Dear members of the City Council, I own some property on Road and Ceres. I'm writing to express my strong support for the proposed construction of the Maverick Truck Stop near the freeway along Road. I believe this development represents a smart investment in our city's future and will bring significant benefits to our local economy. The Maverick Truck Stop will support economic growth by creating new jobs and attracting travelers and truckers who could otherwise pass through without stopping. This added traffic will increase local spending and generate meaningful tax revenue that can be reinvested into the city services and infrastructure. Additionally, this project has the potential to spur further development along Road, an area that is currently underutilized. Businesses often follow traffic and opportunity, and the presence of a well-located truck stop could encourage new restaurants, retail, and service providers to open nearby. It's also important to note that Maverick Truck Stop will not take away business from existing gas stations. Its proximity to the freeway caters to a different type of customer base, primarily long-haul truckers and interstate travelers who may not typically stop at local stations. In fact, having more fueling and rest options can increase overall traffic to the area, benefiting multiple businesses. I encourage the council to consider the long-term value this project offers. Let's take this opportunity to promote smart growth and strengthen our local economy. Thank you for your time and your service to our community.
Okay, thank you for that email. Okay, with that, we will now close the public hearing and bring the item back for any comments or questions, discussion by the City Council. Do we have any comments, questions by the City Council? Councilmember Vieira, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions and I'll go a little slow, but I did look up, I just want to confirm that this was part of the streamlined CEQA under the class 32 exception because it's within the city, less than 5 acres, looks like it's 3.58, and it's surrounded by urban uses, so it's exempt under the streamlined CEQA.
Correct.
Okay.
To stay streamlined, there's a different provision, so I want to be clear.
Okay.
There's a CEQA exemption, and then there's findings to meet those exemptions. Streamlining could be construed differently, meaning you don't have to do through the CEQA process because of some state law or legislature. So I don't want to use the word streamline. I want to say we were able to use an exemption which exempts a project from a larger environmental review.
Okay, yeah, it looked like it was called class 32 exceptions because it's within the city, it's less than 5 acres, and it's surrounded by urban uses. Is that correct? So
Yes.
okay, I just want to make sure that that was a valid and not something that I was misreading. And then I didn't see any legal, not that I need another gas station in that corner, but I couldn't find a legal reason or anything in our ordinance. So I just wanted to confirm that there wasn't something that I missed in this very large document. I don't know if that goes to the attorney or planning.
So the project as proposed was fielded by staff and presented to the Planning Commission with a recommendation for approval. There is not, it's a conditional use permit, so it's really up to the discretion of the council. In the past, the council has considered other specific provisions in the code that not prohibited, but allowed for denial based off of proximity of uses. And I think maybe that's what Councilmember Vieira might be alluding to. So in this case, that is not, it's not a consideration and it's really up to the council's discretion.
Okay. And then I know there's some concerns that were brought up regarding safety. So I just want to reconfirm that this was vetted by both our police and fire, which I believe were both present. And I just wanted to confirm that they both had an opportunity to address any and all issues that they had with this. So I don't care who answers.
Thank you for your question. Right now, we respond out to that dirt lot for vendors. So we're already going out there. We just aren't getting any tax money from it. I'm not concerned about prostitution or any of the other elements that would go into this. I think it would be the same as any other gas station that we already have.
Okay, thank you.
Just to remind the chief that PIOs for both the police and fire departments spoke in favor of the project at the Planning Commission.
With respect to the fire department, we don't have any concerns with the proposed use of that property.
Thank you. Next question is, I want to confirm regarding the EV charging stations. I know that was brought up as well. I believe that is a Cal Green or state law requirement and that the businesses cannot open if they don't have it. Is that correct?
Correct. They'll meet the building code requirement for EV chargers.
Okay. And then another question brought up was regarding the improvements such as the median. Doesn't that fall on the business and not on the city when it comes to the improvements such as the median and lights?
Correct. No public improvements, sidewalks, any street widening, median installation, driveways, all of that stuff falls on the developer.
Thank you. So they will be making the improvements, then all the improvements in the area that are going to be required, even if they're not in the initial plans that came forward.
That is correct.
Okay. And then I wanted to confirm that this has been already had a commercial permit, I believe already for the last 4 years that they've already had 2 conditional permits that were approved from Planning Commission prior for commercial use for this corner lot.
They have a tentative map for the site, but there's no other actual use that came before the commission.
Thank you. And then but these were just temporary concerns, so any uses or any adjustments can still be made to the maps prior to development starting?
I mean, so maybe Michael, if I don't answer, the map is just contemplated, but future development, so they're subdivided into parcels. So then when another project comes in, that project will be reviewed and go to Planning Commission if that's your question, but maybe.
I think there were some concerns about the driveways, and I think I didn't necessarily see where the EV charging stations were, and I was told that some of this was just kind of a temporary outline of kind of what they were looking at, and some of those minor details could be adjusted as needed based on development and discussions with engineering and planning.
Yes, so Councilmember, yes, those adjustments can be made. Nothing is set in stone. I mean, the site plan is a general layout. It's actually a pretty detailed layout that they have presented. However, if there are adjustments that need to be made, our engineering staff will work with their engineering staff on any adjustments that need to be made as the project moves towards construction documents.
And then this also means the light will change slightly. I'm assuming there'll be a turning signal. And it sounds like some widening of the street.
So as far as the signal goes, we've done traffic counts. We're doing a timing process right now with the traffic engineer that we do have on call. If there was an issue at the intersection, we can have them come out and recount the intersection and make any timing adjustments that are needed.
So that'll eliminate it from backing up onto the freeway, which I believe was one of the concerns.
I would like to say that it can help mitigate the issue. That it will actually eliminate an issue is a very, I would say, strong way to put it. And traffic patterns do change. So, we adjust things through the Traffic Operations Center as needed. But I can't say that it would eliminate it.
But we also want to say that it hasn't been established that we have a queuing issue. Anybody who mentioned queuing is not necessarily qualified to assess whether or not we are going to have a queuing problem at that site. So should in time that it occurs, but that hasn't been established that that's actually happening. So then to adjust or account for it now would be premature. We've never established a queuing issue. The site's designed to avoid queuing issues. So we don't have a queuing issue at the moment.
Understandable. And I think the last concern, which I guess we don't know until it opens, is that left turn of diesels, and knowing the size and length of the trucks, usually being 16 to 20 foot plus a 53. If it's a domestic, we're looking at 53-foot trailers. So making that left-hand turn is a little concerning when it comes to timing and speed coming out of that far south turning lane. I just want to know if those adjustments or site, again, a lot of that's not necessarily included. So I just want to make sure that those changes can be addressed if that does look like it's a concern at some point.
So yes, as they move out of the gas station onto the main roads, we will look at all kinds of different sight distances, those types of things, to make sure that, you know, the trucks have a visual that they can actually see oncoming traffic, and that oncoming traffic can see them also. You try to account for everything that you possibly can, but driving is behavioral. And so sometimes those behaviors are in detriment to any analysis that we can do as engineers and traffic engineers.
Thank you. Those are all my questions for now.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Casey.
Sure, thanks. We've heard truck stop, truck stop, truck stop. There's a huge difference between a fueling station and a truck stop. I took the liberty to check a few of the locations that Maverick has, like in West Sacramento. It's right off the 80, and it's by all other kinds of businesses. And across on the other side of 80 is a truck stop. Fellow citizen Gene Yankley mentioned he was a long distance truck driver. Well, this year I celebrated my 58th year as a Class A driver. Many years ago, I drove a lot, and truck stops can be a real pain. A fueling station is completely different than that. You know, you have a place to get your fuel and get the heck on down the road. As far as additional trucks, I think once the trucks that are already exiting Mitchell Road on their way to do whatever they're going to do, and once they see this stop in place that they can pull in and get the heck on the road again, I think it's a benefit to the city of Ceres. So there's a lot of bad things about any, you know, somebody mentioned earlier, In-N-Out Burger, which our city manager knows is a favorite place of my wife's, but you know, the traffic there is unbearable. You know, it backs up clear into their thing. I appreciate everyone's concern about a truck stop. This is not a truck stop, and I'm impressed with that line that is in the place it pulls forward. Truck drivers are just like all of us here. Some of them are pretty bad, some of them are pretty courteous. So they're going to be moving down the road. It's not a truck stop. It's a place to buy fuel. And being a neighbor to a place that sells diesel fuel, and a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we denied a conditional use permit to a person that I saw buying diesel fuel every day, hundreds of gallons, and then because their conditional use permit wasn't, they moved on. So the city lost a lot of sales tax there. Diesel fuel, truck drivers have huge tanks, and if it's a convenient place, quick to get fill up, you know, 200 gallons of fuel. And I think Citizen Warren mentioned that we only get a small portion of it, but a lot of small portions make a big pie. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to make my comments, then make a recommendation. So I don't know if maybe you wanted to speak before me.
Nothing to say.
Oh, yeah, thank you, sir. First, I want to thank Councilmember Vieira. A lot of great questions. Some of them I had, especially the police and fire safety. And then congratulations, Jim, on 50 plus years of Class A. That's awesome. My father, all my life, recently just retired, was a long haul truck driver. So I grew up in a family that had a truck driver. So I do appreciate that. I just wanted to start by saying that, you know, this project fits what the corridor is zoned for. It brings something new with those 6 pumps, allowing truckers to come in. And like Councilmember Casey said, those tanks are pretty massive. It's going to be a lot of revenue. And that was actually a really great analogy that a lot of small pieces make a big pie. It also brings an RV dumping and pumping station. That's great. I've got friends and family that have RVs in the city. Them not having to go to Modesto or Turlock to dump out is awesome. I wanted to answer Mr. Rossi's comments. My aunt has lived on Redwood my entire life, so I know that road. I know how narrow it is, and I know that there are truckers that do drive up and down it. And then I take road sometimes to work in Turlock, so I'm aware of that S curve and how fast people do drive on it. That being said, the revenue, the opportunity for new development, and the fact that this fits and the applicant has done all of their due diligence to get it put in, I would like to make a recommendation that we deny with the additional findings of the CEQA category exemptions.
I'll second that.
Get a roll call.
Councilmember Casey,
Aye.
Councilmember Vieira,
Aye.
Councilmember Otero abstain, Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0 with one abstention.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. And we'll go grab her. Thank you. We are getting ready to begin and we are back. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We are on item number 15, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ceres adding section 519 definitions, amending section 51940, eligible organizations, section 51980, chief of police investigation, amending section 51990 from summary suspension of revocation to renewal of permit to operate, section 519-100, from enforcement to bingo location security, adding section 519-110, conducts of games, section 519-120, financial records, and section 519-130, enforcement of the Ceres Municipal Code. Thank you, Chief, for that long ordinance explanation. You're up.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. We are tag teaming this item tonight. And so I did coordinate with the chief before the meeting to discuss this item. So before you tonight is a continuation from our July 28th meeting, at which time the council gave us a little bit more time to work through some of the concerns that were raised by members of the public regarding specifically pull tabs and how pull tabs are regulated under the code. So we've taken another look at the ordinance and made some revisions, and we're bringing back to council today with a recommendation for introduction and first reading of the ordinance as revised. So specifically, the changes that were made to address the pull tab and hot bingo provisions are in section 5.19, 110, specific conduct of games, and specifically subsection M. So in that section, it now provides, before the language was that it's the pull tab and hot ball bingo are completely prohibited. In taking a second look at the regulations and the IRS publication on guidelines for this, we've coordinated with police department and staff to ensure that we provide some flexibility. So under the law, hot ball is prohibited. Pull tab bingo structures are allowed under very specific criteria. And we've included that almost verbatim in the provision of the code. So basically with the changes as presented, pull tab bingo will still be permitted under very specific criteria. And it's my understanding that from a practical standpoint, the IRS looks at how the functioning of the game works, and they conduct inspections sometimes. But from a regulatory standpoint, this language will accommodate for pull tab as allowed by law. How it's actually carried out on site is a different issue. It's an enforcement issue, but the code language will allow for pull tab bingo as currently authorized under the penal code and the IRS publication. So I can answer any questions that council may have on the ordinance.
Any comments, Chief?
No, I fully support the changes, and it looks like it's very well written now to give us some flexibility.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. We will go out to the public for any comments or questions from the public. None? Yes? Okay.
Good evening. I'll make it quick. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'd like to thank the police department and the city attorney's office for working the language. It's super workable and allows us to play in compliance with the law and use it as part of the bingo games. They won't be standalone games that are barred. They will be part of the bingo. Thank you very much. It's a big deal.
Thank you very much. Anybody else in the audience? Any hands raised?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you very much. I'll bring this item back for council discussion, comments, and or a motion. Sounds like Vera has a quick question. Do you, council member?
Yeah, I do. I just want to confirm that this is what you need for enforcement and to resolve some of the ongoing issues and or complaints that have been brought forward to you.
Yes, this is the updates to the code are exactly what we need in order to do the enforcement. And it's actually going to make it better for both of the bingo halls so that they know where they fall in line it takes out some of the vague language in the ordinance before.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to say congratulations to you guys. I know that this was a big concern of yours, that the revenue from this, you guys put towards a lot of your nonprofits and helping back in the community. So I appreciate that. With that being said, I would like to make a motion to approve item number 15.
I'll second that.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Good job, everyone. Thank you. So moving on to item number 16. Okay, never mind. No new business, no discussion. Moving on to council member referrals. And the first referral is number 16. Reestablish the Transit Occupancy Tax Advisory Committee requested by Councilmember Otero on July 14th, 2025. This was yours.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm making this referral tonight to bring back the City of Ceres Transient Occupancy Tax Advisory Committee, which appeared to be formed in 2017. It was a voter-approved tax, and I feel that residents should be included in the oversight of this, just as it is for Measure H. I think this is going to also bring more public engagement and allow residents to make some of the decisions on where the tax dollars are going.
Is this one a consensus or is this, okay? Mr. Vice Mayor, did you want to make a comment or you pressed your button? No?
My question was for staff. Why was the committee disbanded in the first place? Was it a lack of meetings, a lack of interest? What led to it being taken down?
That's all before our time. So it's my understanding, the original resolution that was proposed was that, I think 10 or 20% of the TOT taxes were supposed to go to nonprofits. Somewhere along the transition or codification of it, that was dropped. And so all it was we passed a new TOT tax and went from 5 to 10, I think. And that's what happened to it. I don't know why the committee was disbanded, except for maybe it was no longer needed because that, they got the TOT changed. And that was the main purpose of the committee to begin with, was to get that changed, but it also was to also get money for the nonprofits, and that didn't happen.
Thank you, sir.
Nubia, do you have any recollection or?
Not specifically, but just again, a reminder, a consensus of the council tonight.
Sorry about that.
Will be sufficient to get us to the next, to a future meeting where we can present to you for formal reconstitution, essentially. So the action that you take tonight is not to actually reestablish it, it's to bring it back, to take that action.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
My vote would be no.
Council member? Yes. For me, it's a no.
I don't think I know enough to make a decision at this point in time. I don't know how to vote because I don't exactly know what the ordinance is and I haven't had time to read to find out what. I don't know what it says, so it's hard for me to vote yes or no.
I don't believe it's codified. I think it was a committee that might have just existed previously. So if the council would like further research done into what it was, what it meant, what it did, we can bring that back for your consideration if you want to move this item forward. If not, then the item would die tonight.
That's what I need for a decision, because like Measure H, it's written into the Measure H that you have to have it. Right. So I think without knowing what it says, what it's for, the specifics, it's hard for me to say yes or no, because either way, I need to know more details to say yes or no. Either way, I'm indifferent about the decision. So I'm okay with it moving forward. I'm okay with it. I don't know enough to say, I have no idea, because I don't know I haven't been provided any information on it.
Do we take that as a consensus, as a? No, I'm asking Vera, is that like a
So if
thing or
if there's interest to look into it, then it would be a yes to look into it, right? And so then we would look into it, bring it back to you for a history of what it was and potential reconstitution, if you want to move it forward. If not, then it would die tonight.
I would need history before I can make a decision on this. So yeah, I guess, yes, I would want to know more details before I make a decision.
Mr. Casey.
Okay, so there's a consensus to bring this back for further summary to the council of what it actually means. And we will prepare the agenda item that way and not presuppose a reconstitution of the committee, if that is acceptable to the council. You can't reconstitute tonight, right? But Councilmember Vieira's moving this forward is conditional. She wants to know more information about it before the council even considers reconstituting it. That
sounds about right from what I'm hearing.
Okay, so again, it'll be an informational item to tell the council exactly what it did, what its scope was, and then seek further direction if you want to do anything about it and reconstitute it at a later time.
You got that, Fallon? I know it's late. Item number 17 is increase permitted watering days from 2 to 3 days per week. Councilmember Otero.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not the water expert, so I'll have to lean on Sam for this, but I do have a referral to increase watering from 2 days to 3 days per week, at least during the summer months. I think that we can probably still promote and accomplish water conservation. We're going to be adding new trees soon. We already have dead trees out there. We also have residents who want to protect their existing landscape and their gardens, which is a significant investment on these properties. So I suggest increasing water days from 2 to 3 days.
Okay, looking for consensus left to right. Thumbs up. I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
Mr. Casey. Okay, there you go. Okay, moving on. Oh, actually, let me ask, is there any council members that have any additional referrals? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to reports, I have nothing to report. City Council. Rosalinda, you have pressed your button.
Of course. I just want to thank the fire department for taking time out of their schedule to meet with me and give me a tour of the new fire facility and the upgrades. Working in community college where we actually start the initial process allows me to see where our students are going from the initial beginning down to actually getting placed into the workforce. So I appreciate them taking the time and answering all of my questions and giving me a tour and walking up and down all those wonderful stairs in the dark. It's delightful in the heat, but I appreciate them and I look forward to seeing more with some of the retirements. I know we've seen some of those come through. And so hopefully we can keep our fire service at a level that's acceptable for the community. I also wanted to comment this last Thursday, an opportunity to participate in a ride-along with Ceres Police Department. The officer I accommodate was a key responder in my district and demonstrated a really strong understanding of my area and the challenges that I face in my district. Like the others I've ridden before, he seemed to have a valuable perspective to the policing that goes beyond just the calls. We did do a lot of behind the scenes action, I guess that was most of the aspects of what we did. And that included report writing, processing the county jail versus seeing juvenile hall and the different aspects of both of those, as well as a trip to the hospital with one of the individuals. So it was interesting to see the behind the scenes that you don't actually hear about when you're listening to dispatch, like I have my scanner on a lot of times, and I don't hear the other perspectives. I don't see behind the scenes. So I really appreciate being able to see that, although I think both of us wanted to see the policing because he did have very high standards to live up to, since I've had 2 really good ride-alongs that were amazing with very key individuals in the police department. So we obviously didn't have that opportunity to demonstrate some of his policing that I would have liked to have seen, but I appreciate him allowing me to sit in his car and observe him most of the evening, which I know can be very stressful. I'm quite a talker and I talk very fast. But the experience highlighted the critical need for this weekend showed the critical need for having a non-emergency response team to address some of the non-criminal issues that we're dealing with in the city, especially when it comes to some of our homeless and focusing on true public safety concerns that we have in the community. But I wanted to especially emphasize that I was impressed with the officer's compassion and empathy that he showed throughout his shift, often checking on the different people that were involved in the situation and trying to de-escalate some of the very stressful situations. And I was grateful for the time that he shared and his knowledge. And I look for an ongoing partnership and continued partnership with law enforcement and the community to help keep Ceres safe. And I'm hoping we get to try to do this again and not spend our entire evening in juvenile hall and doctor's medical center and actually see some police work and not just report writing. But I just wanted to highlight that was a great experience to see the parts that I don't hear about, the part that's not in the newspaper, the part that you don't hear about, because I think that was key in understanding how much time it really took to have and deal with some of these situations. Once you call police and they come out and the individual is addressed, what happens after that? So it was very important, and I appreciate the time that he took to spend with me and showing me some of that that they do, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other council members? Seeing none. City manager,
Nothing to report.
attorney,
Nothing tonight.
staff members.
I'd like to report on just one thing with the approval of the contract for Hatch Road Phase 2 tonight. We'll be getting that kickoff meeting scheduled with Knife River Construction. But I want to make the council and the public aware that as we move into this project, when we get into November, there will be a full closure of Hatch Road at Central Avenue. As we go under the canal, there is a canal that runs diagonally across that intersection that we actually have to dig a 22.5-foot deep hole in the road. And so we will have a full closure for 1 to 2 weeks in November before Thanksgiving. We will make sure it's open for Thanksgiving week. But I want the public and the council aware that that will be coming in November.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, with that being said, we will now go to a closed session for a conference with labor negotiators, California Government Code 54957. Agency designated representatives are City Manager Douglas D. Dunford and Human Resource Director Delilah Vasquez. Employee organizations are Ceres Police Officer Association, First Line Supervisors Confidential, Bargaining Group Laborers International Union of North America, Med Managers Bargaining Group, and Public Safety Managers. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak regarding this closed session? Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good night. We are adjourned. No. There's no reportable action. Thank you.